Folks, welcome back. 2023 Rudy. I was thinking about getting a haircut, so I looked less ridiculous, homeless, Ace Ventura, and creepy Rudy kind of thing. And then I realized I could take that money and I could buy one more pack of Fallen Empires. How's everybody doing? Today in 2023, we are continuing. Rudy is continuing to pump your ex and talk about positivity. We are actually continuing to see signs in the market across the board, in all CCGs, of upticks in positivity and stability. This is great. Like, flipping amazing after, what, 15, no, God, what was it? The peak was May, June of 2021. Oh my God, 20 months? Have we, is it, because I know the collectible, magic, flesh and blood, reserve list, cryptocurrency, and the stock market peaked around May or June of 2021. This is February of 23. Oh, yeah, we're around 20 months of a bear market, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is the first time, and hopefully it holds, could be a dead cat bounce. Trend is your friend till the end, till the round of bend. Chuck Norris punching in the face. Let's talk about it. Magic. Reserve list cards. We're seeing the benchmark, revised duels. We are seeing revised duels, Underground Sea. Almost all the buy lists. Back above $500. Average between $550 for near mint to mint. Underground Sea, the benchmark dual land for revised. We're back in the 500s. I'm impressed. I thought it would take a little bit longer. I didn't think we would. I thought maybe like the end of this year. So a little faster than I expected. Good sign. Next thing, a lot of mid-tier reserve list cards. They're starting to come off that afterglow of negativity. Chris Cox, Cocktail Party, Wikipedia article, Fireside Chat, Magic 30's the future, Mark Bottomwater, what's the reserve list? It's finally moving on from that. It took many, many months. And I'm again seeing some money starting to flow back to even mid-tier reserve list cards. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. If you're thinking, all right, that's it, let's go in. If you think it's time to just max out the credit card and move into collectibles again, you're going to 10x, 15x, 69x your X. I don't mean to let you down. I'm going to let you down kind of gently. I don't think there's any opportunity for quick tendies, flipping things. I think the flippers market and short-term easy gains is still not. It's just not here. I don't see that being possible still. In general, you may have some anomaly of a random card that may move or get some. Overall, I'm not seeing any quick opportunity for people who just want to jump in and out and do a little giggity action. I just don't see that still. But there are still, for the record, most reserve list cards as of the filming of this video are still about 30% off their all-time high. Some are as little as only 10-20%. Some are as much as, Fallen Empires, Ice Age, Revised, The Dark, those third tier, the $5, the Frankenstein monster, the Eater of the Dead from The Dark, peaked at 80 to 100 range. It's still like $10, $15, $20 range. So there are still the very third tier, weaker, type of buyouts and people who try to get involved in that. From the all-time highs, those particular cards are still down between 50 and 90%, depending on what card and benchmark and condition you're going by. So again, when I say we're seeing signs of positivity, I'm not saying, bull market, all-time high, just max it all out, go in. Literally, it's not like that. But the consolidation period from the last couple months is showing signs of life. And this is a very good thing for the health of the overall industry, distribution, LGSs, evil investors, the beautiful 3% young ladies that are actually in the collectible world. In general, we're seeing a good turn. And I haven't really seen this in a while. So while we are still substantially, I don't care if you're talking Alpha and Arabian Nights, they're still down between probably, if you're lucky, some cards are only down maybe 10-15%. But on average, you're still down between probably a quarter to a third from the all-time highs. Even the toughest Black Lotus Arabian Bazaar of Rudy Baghdad. At the end of the day, even those bad boys are still down about 20, I'd say 20 to 30, maybe even 40%, depending if it's a graded quad plus 6.9 double quad base. If you're into that market, those are still down very substantially from the highs. So the damage of Magic 30, the market, the economy, inflation, is still quite readily visible compared to where we were at the highs about almost 2 years ago. couple more months, it will be 2 years of a bear market, where we have just been literally just terribly dragging through the dirt and just prices just dropping and flat and stagnant. It's been a while, folks. So that's what I want to say about the reserve list. But like I said, when you see the benchmarks like revised duels and underground C, peek its little head, peek its little head back above 500. It tells me that the algorithms for these buy lists are, they're actually selling through these big online stores, and the algorithm for the buy list is upticking to attract more inventory because these stores are raising buy lists, hoping that you all say, oh, good, the buy list is up, let me sell my cards. That is the whole algorithm of how these things self-balance and self-correct. It's very interesting. So that is a very good bullish indicator moving for the next 1 to 3 years. And hopefully it's not a dead cat bounce and we do continue to, actually hold these and move forward and build a base on it. That would be nice to see. So next thing, let's go over to the newer product. Here's the next thing that makes me very excited, positive, positive Penelope over here. No, Debbie Downers in 2021, negative Nancy's 2022. 2023, positive Penelope Rudy. I feel next new sealed product. I'm sorry, what? No, nobody does it. All the thumbs down? Wait, hold on. MetaZoo, did that bring it up? No, down. So we haven't seen any of the new sealed product in the last 30, 60 days. Actually, probably since Q4, the last couple months, we have seen no further erosion in value. We have seen no substantial Amazon dumps. We have seen no real fire sale. Remember, I talked about a month ago. I made a comment to you all about how I'm wondering if the Amazon dump, it was so impactful in rippling through the system on like the Midnight Hunt collector boxes, and it did so much damage to the product, and there was so much pushback. I'm wondering, I threw this out over a month ago, actually it was 2 months ago now, December, January, and a lot of people were making fun of me. And in my opinion, I'm really starting to believe we are not going to see that extreme of a powerful dump again. I think they realize the damage, the actual backlash, the ripple in the system between distribution, stores, everybody involved. I'm wondering if we may not see that again. Because again, just on a side note, folks, if you're a corporation and you have a ton of dead product, okay, there is a line in the sand of damaging your reputation, damaging the product itself, and selling it so cheap to raise some revenue versus literally destroying the product and taking a tax loss if you're a corporation, just writing it off as a loss. If you have a $250 collector box, okay, and you dump it on Amazon for $50, and after shipping and fees, you net $35. When you start hitting that range, there's a point where internally with Papa Hasbro and Dr. Cox and Cynthia and the private jets and penis rockets with Jeff Bezos, there's a point where the tax write-off is going to be almost identical to the fire selling of the product. So the internal financials are not going to deviate that much. In addition to that, you sidestep any collateral damage of destroying your market and consumer confidence, credibility, the distribution chain. And again, I've been talking about this for a couple months now. I believe that there's a good probability we never see a powerful Amazon dump again. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to list products on Amazon, do 10% off or Prime Day, 15. No, I'm talking about that 50, 80, a $200 collector box for, $69, $79. I am getting, as the days turn to weeks, turn to months, turn to your ex, I'm believing that we're never going to see that again. And again, if we make it through 2023 fully by the end of this year, I'm calling it. That's it. We're never going to see it again because that's multiple Prime Days, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Stepsister Tuesday. I mean, if we make it to the end of this year and there's not another powerful Amazon destruction, I'm calling it. It's over. So let's move on. In the last few months, once again, everything from Adventures Forgotten Realm to Crimson Vow to literally, these 2021 era products, even some 2022 now, I'm not seeing any further erosions. I'm not seeing any major upticks in supply. I'm not seeing any downticks in prices. Across the board, it's looking pretty good. Our consolidation phase from the last 6 to 9 months appears to be starting to build a good foundation, and we're starting to get upticks. I'll give you an example. Let's pick on, should we want to pick on what? AFR? Adventures Forgotten Realm? No, let's pick on Crimson Vow, the worst, right? So if you look at Crimson Vow, even the collector boxes, take eBay, TCG Player, add up total supply, look at quantity of sellers. Even Crimson Vow collector boxes are up 10, 20, 25% from the lows from 4 months ago. And it doesn't sound like much, but when the market was so scared, I mean, scaredy cat Rudy over here, to see a shift like this, after what we went through with inflation, the cruel summer, Magic 30, the fireside chats, Mark Warswater talking about reserve lists, we're never going to reprint that. I mean, considering what we went through and how it permanently changed everything, I'm very surprised to see like Crimson Vow collectors, Crimson Vow set boxes. I'm very surprised to see that a lot of these products, Adventures Forgotten Realm, Midnight Hunt is a little bit different because Midnight Hunt was the one I think had, or I think did Crimson and Midnight have the Amazon dump? You guys have to tell me below. But, and even if you look at like even the older ones, we got Call Time. We got the Mythic and Call Time, old crazy Phyrexian Mr. Dinosaur that I took to high school. $50, $80 a card. Okay, is that card just going to be a $100 card? And Call Time collector boxes are just going to be $130, $100. So hold on a second. There's going to be a $100 card, and the box is like $140 for a collector box. We're starting to see these shifts. And same thing with Zendikar, same thing with Kaldheim, which is now Strixhaven. I've been looking at that one. And if you go a little further back, even to the Theros, Ikoria, even that earlier 2020, Quarantine Tangerine, End of the Days, the Corona Godzilla virus card, those cards, I mean, not the cards, but the Triomes, whoa, the expected value of those, the sealed value of the draft boxes. Remember, there's no set boxes in Ikoria, Core 21, and Theros. It's just the draft boxes and the collector boxes of those items are thinning out. The prices are holding. We're seeing upticks in the draft boxes a little bit. Now, collectors are flat, but they're thinning out in inventory. And then, of course, let's step back further, and let's look at, War of the Spark. Let's look at Sparky. Throne of Throne of Drano. I mean, so you got Throne of Drano, you got War of the Spark, Guilds and Allegiance of Return to Ravnica cubed, and all of them are looking really good. Really good. And if we keep stepping back further, then you got OG, Original Dominaria, okay? Then you go into the old dinosaur era of Ixalan and Rivals, in which was the most low-printed, rejected product ever. Less than 5% of my patrons, even when I had thousands of patrons back in 2018? I think I don't even think 5% of the patrons bought the product. Everybody hated it. They even scrapped the lottery cards from Ixalan and Rivals, and they turned them into the flip cards. And even those products are looking good. So we are seeing, and I know videos like this are not going to get the views. You're going to see low view count on this channel because there's no drama. You're going to see low view count. And this video is probably going to be like 2,000 views. When I'm not angry Rudy, and I'm not bashing Hasbro and Fireside Chats and Magic 30, and we're not talking about all the crashes and investors losing everything, you'll see the views, and even on this channel, they're going to stall out. You're going to see the comment section get more quiet. So those of you still watching, I expect you guys to put dramatic comments or angry comments or something in the comment section. Because again, as we shift to a more positive future and more stable pricing in kind of the card economy, you're not going to see as much drama, and you're not going to see as much comments and interactions and people talking about it, because it's boring. When things are calm in the price of all these, even new sealed product, okay, when they're just back to sitting there and they slowly go up a couple dollars, no one's out there going, Rudy, oh my God, Crimson Vow's up $3. Nobody cares. But the thing is, if it's going up $2, $3 a month, this time next year, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's up like 60%. But nobody cares because it's slow, it's boring, it's unsexy, it's not attractive, it doesn't make me feel cool, it doesn't make you feel cool. We're all just kind of like, okay, well, that's cool. It's going up like 1% a month. I mean, it doesn't mean much. You sure? You sure? So that's what I see happening. Now let's step out of the Magic world here. Let's step out of the reserve list. And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, look at the revised dual lands, the infamous benchmark of money flowing in and out of reserve list. Just laying it out there. Laying it out there, folks. Again, don't go all in. Don't max out credit cards. Don't dump your 401k into your ex's, wife's boyfriend. Don't slowly build. If you like this stuff and you believe in it, the same thing I said 7 years ago. Slowly accumulate. When you buy cards, try to beat the recent eBay sold prices so you know you got a good deal, so you get a good benchmark. Go slow, buy these things with the expectations that you enjoy them and you're willing to wait a long period of time. Do not buy anything hoping for flipping and quick money, because you will probably fail. You'll get angry. You'll hate me. You'll hate your ex. You'll hate your family. You'll hate that dude on the road that yells at cars too fast. You have to have the right mindset in this stuff. I can't make you rich, folks. I wish I could, because then we would just be billionaires flying in private jets, which would be fun, but that seems kind of crazy. So next, let's move on. Pokemon, I'm not going to say much about it, okay? Pokemon is already, I mean, the most recent 2 Pokemon sets, okay? What do you got? Well, Crown Zenith's just ETBs, but I mean, the most recent 2 Pokemon sets, just Silver Temp and Origins. Both these things are going to home. They're almost at $150 a box with shipping and tax. They may be over that if you go to TCG Player, just add to cart and go to checkout. It may already be over $150 a piece. I still believe in the coming months we will get a reprint restock of like these most recent sets, like Silver Temp, maybe Lost Origins, maybe another Brilliant Stars or Evolving Skies. They have already reprinted those items. I don't know if they're going to. Pokemon doesn't tend to reprint 3, 4, 5 times. This isn't Wizards of the East Coast. It's not Cynthia Williams on Wikipedia on a Saturday afternoon. Pokemon will reprint it like they did with Evolving Skies, like they did with Evolutions, like they did with many things over the years, but they don't keep doing it. They have too many products to make money on, and they don't destroy something. They're not going to reprint 5 times and nuke the value. Pokemon doesn't operate that way. I think most likely, because we never got a second wave of we never got a reprint of Silver Tempest or Lost Origins. Okay, I feel those 2 are the most likely outcomes to get a reprint. And even then, so what? They reprint it. What's it going to do? Go from 150 back to 110 or something? I mean, it's still great. I mean, it's Sword and Shield's a great era. It's coming to an end. We're going to, what are we going to next? Ruby Red, Scarlet Violet, Fifth Element, we're going to the new era. New prices. Remember we talked about this. Pokemon is raising prices for everything. So that means when we go into the Scarlet, Ruby, Violet, Purple Polka Dot thing, these boxes are already going to be an extra $10, $15 more per box wholesale. Okay? So, essentially, Pokemon's going like magic. It's going to be $90 to $100 a box just for a store to buy them. So, anything under $100 a box for Pokemon was stupidly underpriced. Essentially now, every store's going to have to sell them for probably like 110, 120, 130, 140 range just to even be worthwhile when your cost base is almost 100 and you got to ship it, you've got to pay fees on an online brokerage website. I mean, so it's going to reprice the whole system. I think we've already seen that happen. The smart money's already moved into Pokemon. And yes, for those of you sending me messages on the Patreon and those of you sending comments below and sending me emails, yeah, I know, Chilling Reign is now breaking $150 a box plus tax. So as they're filming this video, I think there's a couple boxes left in the 140s plus tax. It does look like that by the end of this year, Chilling Reign will be over $200 a box. And I said it would take 5 years, and here we are 9 to 10 months later. I knew it was underpriced. I made a big thing about it a year ago, about how it was underpriced, and I was going to buy a lot of it, and that was everybody ridiculed, attacked, did the typical internet thing. And my theory was correct. My timing was incorrect. And once again, this shows the importance of having the correct mindset, calmness, and the ability to navigate and just wait and mentally be prepared for that kind of thing. So because of that, well, sure, it's great. It's happening sooner. No, I'm still not selling any of it. I've run multiple Chilling Reign Pokemon sales in the past. I think I ran Chilling Reign sale 2 or 3 times. I think the second or third time, almost 0 patrons bought it. It was very few amount. I think I just took like 120 boxes and sold a couple Chilling Reigns either in a variety kit or like 2 or 3 boxes on the final time, which was a long time ago. Maybe a year ago now or something. And I sold like the 100 boxes or something, but the demand was so low. Very few patrons were willing to buy it. I think I was doing Chilling Reign at 89 shipped, and people were just, some people got mad at me and said, well, my store's got them on clearance for 85 and Rudy's ripping off. Other people are saying, I'm not buying this, is dead money. It's not going to move for 5 years. It's the next Crimson Invasion thing. In time is marched forward, and it's really shown that, well, most people were wrong. Even I was wrong in the timing, but my thesis of the overall value long-term remains intact. So I think that's very fascinating, everybody. Same thing with Battle Styles. People kept saying, Rudy, Battle Styles, that one ever going to go? I said, Battle Styles will make it to 150 to 200. Same thing we talked about before. It is the weaker bunch in the old Sword and Shield era. But yeah, even Battle Styles, as the film this video, has broken above $100 a box. and people complain, overprinted, worthless. And remember, Battle Styles and Chilling Reign were the beginning and during the crazy 2020-2021 era where prices were crazy and, it was overprinted and all that crap. And even then, Pokemon makes it happen, man. You can't doubt the Pikachu, man. Pikachu always delivers. So that's it for that. And last comment, I know people are going to ask, no, there is no word of another Crown Zenith ETB reprint. They're still sitting around $60 plus tax. So for most people, about $65, $70, or a case for around $600, $700 range on the open market. Still no word on a reprint on that. We did get the last wave of the Charizard Ultimate Premium. I got one pallet of that, or 2 pallets or something. I ran it. By the time you watch the video, I already had sold that and ran a special to the patrons. Those are gone. But I don't believe any more of that is coming either. I think that is it. I'll ask next week to see, but I believe that was the last wave of that. So now I'm going to jump over the next thing. Late video. Most of you aren't watching. Save the good stuff to the end. Make sure most people tune out and, click away, right? So when we're talking about Flesh and Blood. So now that we're late in the video, most people aren't going to be here. They already did their RAR. Metazoo! I said Metazoo. Thumbs down and leave. So here's the thing, folks. In the last 60 days, I'm selling more boxes of Flesh and Blood on a rolling daily, weekly, monthly calendar than I am selling my draft or set boxes combined on Magic the Gathering. Now, the only caveat to that is obviously I discontinued the most recent draft boxes. So the selection of draft boxes for my patrons would be something like, Crimson Val, Baldur's Gate, Kamigawa, Streets. I think those 4. And then the set boxes is like Baldur's Gate, Infinity, maybe Midnight Hunt, Brothers War? No. There's another one. I don't know. So out of these 7 or 8 choices that I am offering to patrons, I am also offering 2 Flesh and Blood. They're just on the monthly post. And I'm still just doing Uprising and Everfest, which is, again, same thing as the Magic boxes. They're older ones from, a year ago. And I am going through Flesh and Blood product. I don't know what happened, but about 45, 60 days ago, and I know some of you are going to say, but let me finish. About 45, 60 days ago, the uptick in people buying sealed Flesh and Blood and patrons buying from me is unlike anything I've ever seen. I thought at first it was just a blip because of the anger of Magic 30. Customer base was shifting. I'm going to try Flesh and Blood. I thought it was a scam, but it's been around so long now, and I think they're about to do their 9th, 10th set. Oh my God. And a lot of people are trying it, then they love it. A lot of people hearing about it, maybe it's just a scam, Well, I don't know the exact reason. I'm sure that's one of the variables that's leading to it. I don't know if that's the total reason, but that definitely is a variable. The amount of boxes selling for Flesh and Blood, Uprising, and Everfest is astonishing. Even Dynasty. I've run the Dynasty sale to the patrons multiple times now, and it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And moving into Outsiders, the Gem Keeper returns. The infamous Rudy Gem Keeper, that all the people on social media and everybody has threatened to attack me over, and it was, all this stuff in 2021. And everyone, he got rid of this, and he promised you all this stuff. Well, as stated a year ago, and to just calm down and buckle up, Buttercup, sure enough, the Gem Keeper system and the discount is returned, and the first Gem Keeper piece of equipment is launching with the Outsiders Flesh and Blood, the 9th expansion, 9th expansion, 3-6, WTR, Arc, Crew, Monarch, Tales, Everfest, Uprising, Dynasty, Outside. Okay, 9th set. Okay, so then the 9th Flesh and Blood set, once a year, as I told everybody a year ago, when Flesh and Blood evolved to Flesh and Blood 2.0, they got rid of First Edition Unlimited, so we were just going to be reselling the same product multiple waves. And I told you all from the very beginning that, especially for my loyal supporters with the Gem Keeper really rare Rudy card, that I wouldn't be able to track who cashed in the discount on wave 1 versus wave 2 versus wave 3. And it got very confusing, and because there was no first edition anymore, which that was supposed to be. So the company changed. So we took that, and I wanted to move that to something that felt more special. Therefore, as I stated before in the last, I haven't talked about this in many months, but those of you may remember, we moved that discount. Instead of about $69 off, if you're a Gem Keeper, the discount's going to be a lot higher. In addition to that, every year, an exclusive cold foil special card will be a piece of equipment will be available for the Gem Keeper to march boldly into the future. Now, what that means, if you're not a Gem Keeper patron or anything, you can still buy it, but you don't get the discount. And no, it's not going to be thousands of dollars and it's quite cheap actually, and it's designed like that on purpose. So for example, depending on the exact quantity that shows up right now and how everything looks, and once we find out the quantity of outsider cases, it's going to be something like you get a whole case of outsiders, so you get a whole case of booster boxes, and if you're a Gem Keeper, you get the exclusive cold foil legendary card. It's a legendary. It's got the promo cold. It is stunning. James and LSS did an amazing job. The artist did an amazing job, and essentially you get a whole case of booster boxes and the Gem Keeper add-on, and it's going to be something like, I don't know, $4.99 or something. And so you get literally a case of product with that. And if you're not a Gem Keeper, you're probably going to have to pay an extra $100 or $200, something like that. So no, it's not going to be thousands. This is each piece of equipment is going to be added on. And it's going to be a really cool thing. It's not very expensive. It's just to continue the journey of it. So obviously the discount will be more than $69 for the Gem Keepers on that. And yes, if you have 2 Gem Keepers, you can buy 2 of them. All those will be in the details coming up. I got to find out the final quantity and cost for everything. I know it's quite expensive when you do all these boxes, and I don't know the exact numbers yet, but it's not cheap. So anyways, that's very exciting, but I wanted to at least get that. I know we're late in the video. Not many people are going to hear that. So that's very exciting. That's coming in March here. Now, what that also means is that Flesh and Blood upticking now in the player base? Because now we get into some other things. A lot of the patrons have sent me other messages saying, Rudy, have you seen? Look at the Heart of Findle. Look at the heart. Look at the eye. Look at some of these Fable cards from the first 3 sets. The Unlimited Edition. The prices are ridiculous. The upticks, the buying daily on TCG Play, the wiping out of certain key playable cards, not just Fables. And then, Rudy, people have been saying, have you seen the price of first edition WTR Alpha? Have you seen the price of these? Have you looked at the supply of some of these? Even Crucible, Rudy's favorite set, has been upticking again. Supply is thinning out. We're seeing a lot of movement. And then in the weak era of Flesh and Blood, the old Monarch Tales Everfest block, has the higher print run and the boom of everything, none of them are dropping. We haven't seen any price erosion, just like Magic, just like Pokemon. We haven't seen any further downticks in these products. The market, again, appears to finally be moving forward and stabilizing. And that is the point of this whole video as we walk through all these products. And Flesh and Blood is doing fucking incredibly well. They have positioned with the tighter print runs out of this collapse and downturn, which nobody was able to escape. Everything went down a lot. I don't care what you bought. You could have bought Alpha Magic cards. You could have bought a Rudy Gem Keeper card. Everything is down 20, 30, 40, 50%. I mean, it's just, you could have bought third tier weak reserve list cards that are down 80, 90%, or crypto coins that are down 99%. Or someone to 0. There's a lot of turmoil that happened. And there's not a single thing that could have protected you. Hell, you could have left your money in cash. You would have lost your butt to inflation. But at least you didn't lose principal. But your purchasing power, everything, it was a rough time period. And as I stated, if we stay the course, we buy the stuff, we believe in what we want, you work hard, diversify, you'll make it out of this. And now, we are in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, where the risk is now, in my opinion, is greater being not exposed to different categories and asset classes than it is to actually be invested in, a mutual fund and miss out on the upside. It's the same. It's like if you have a let me say it another way. If you have a 401k right now, okay, let's say your retirement account, and you got 10 grand in it, okay, and you're afraid of the market crashing in 2008 2.0, and Rudy's going to be back to a broker. He lost it all. If you're afraid of 2008, what I see right now, sure, the market could drop 10, 20%. Stock market can do anything you want. Collectibles, same thing, But I think we are now at a point, after going through the last 20 months, that it is now a better risk reward to be invested or in a mutual fund or in whatever asset you're interested in. It's better to be all in than it is to be on the sideline full of fear. The teeter-totter of downside risk versus, and I'm not going to go into this soft landing from the Fed inflation. That's fairy dust. But I believe moving forward, it's more dangerous to be not exposed and be afraid than it is to actually be riding the ups and downs in a kangaroo market or whatever you may want to call it. That's my point of view right now. And now that I'm starting to be able to back up that opinion with the market movements on sealed product, revised dual lands underground sea, sealed product, flesh and blood data of how much product's moving, Pokemon product continuing to go up by the week, and of course, I'll mention the last two here, we'll cut the video off. Weiss and MetaZoo. MetaZoo Seance. Still, I get messages all the time. Rudy, will you run another Seance sale? Rudy, I didn't buy Seance at launch. You know, I mean, look, if you're a patron, I think I've got 4 or 5 Seance Rudy promotional kits from launch that I sold for a couple $100. I think I've got 4 or 5 left. I think 3 of them were returned to senders because of a bad address. And I think 2 of them were just a declined, like, e-check payment or something. I think I've got, let's just say 5. So yeah, if you're a patron, if you want to email me, I can offer you something like that. But no, I have no plans to run a full-blown MetaZoo Seance sale again. A MetaZoo major wilderness or UFO sale, a Nightfall sale. There's no plans. I'm sorry. I can pump it, shill your ex, what I can shill and pump and dump all you want, but I have a position in each one for myself. I kept some cases, but I don't have enough product to even make 100. I can't even make 100 bundles. There's nothing left. It is what it is, okay? Now, moving into this native, whole new era of MetaZoo. New block, new everything. Do you see the booster boxes? There's actually different versions of the booster boxes with different artwork on the booster box. That's pretty cool looking. And yes, we're going to have a Rudy card. And yes, there's going to be a Rudy playmat. And no, it's going to go in a direction you don't expect. And I think it's going to be quite interesting. And on top of that, with MetaZoo, with the tighter print runs from Seance moving forward, it looks good. They tighten the print run. They're focusing on doing little supplemental sales for the company and funds and revenue throughout in between releases. And I like what I see. I feel good about it. I stand by it. You can make fun of me all you want. You can, put in all these conspiracy theories. But again, if I didn't think it had a potential to be something big long term, just like Flesh and Blood, just like Weiss, just like Pokemon or Magic, I wouldn't be putting money on the line. I wouldn't be involved with it, flat out. Okay, so I still am very excited about the native kits. The print again, just like the last 2 or 3 MetaZoo sales, when we do the launch of native coming in a couple months, that's after Flesh and Blood. No, even if it's doing good and the price is skyrocketing or anything, there is no plans to raise the price. There's no plans to fire sell it. It will be the same giant kit. You get the multiple booster boxes, multiple spell books, theme decks, release events. You get the promo cards, you get the playmats, you get blister, you get everything. And once again, it's the same price range, which is around that $300 price range. And that is shipped to your door. Even if it does well, the prices are not adjusting up or down. It's the same with every release. And quite frankly, it sells out every release and it does great. And a lot of people really collect it and enjoy it. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying it because it's been a lot of fun. Last but not least on here, the Weiss. Again, we're seeing a ton of market thinning on all these things. The Tokyo Revengers, a lot of the Fate Grand Order, Fate movie thing. We're seeing all these things, the reincarnated as a slime, beefing up Buferi, beefing up defenses. We're seeing everything, even the Attack on Titans, haven't moved up because they reprinted it all and everything. Season 1, Season 2, in the Attack on Titan vinyl season, haven't moved up, but supply is thinning. They're selling every day. No more is entering the market. I mean, we are continuing to slowly rebuild from a foundation moving forward. Once again, I think actually as the film this video, hopefully I'm going to get this video live on a Sunday. We have the new Weiss set coming this Sunday night. Again, same thing. We're going to run that. But remember, no, in the past, I'd get a couple thousand boxes of Weiss. I'd keep 1,000 for myself. Well, that's not the case. I told you all about 5 or 6 Weiss sets ago, about the end of the summer when everything adjusted. They sell out every time. I only have about 400 to 600 boxes for the patrons, and that's it. It's going to sell out. And again, because I sell by the case, I mean, there's always a handful of patrons that want the sealed Weiss cases, which again, if you can afford it, I do not recommend you buy loose Weiss boxes if you're going to be holding sealed long term. Because again, the stores and it's tough to prove where it came from and all that. If you're a long-term collector investor of sealed Weiss, I highly recommend a sealed Weiss case because of the way the high-end SPs and the chase cards. And also, you always get the promo item. Exclusive high-end playmat with a stitched edging, or sometimes they do a promo card, or there's always something different in the case, and you get that for free with it. So that's about it. So really positive to see on that. A couple little comments. People have been asking me about, Rudy, what's going on with sorcery? You haven't made a sorcery video in a long time. Once again, I told you all many, many times, we're not going to be covering and doing a lot of sorcery content until they finish their Kickstarter. And then, yes, we will be going balls deep into the sorcery on the beta edition. And of course, yes, I hope the print run is not print to oblivion. I've talked to Eric and Simon and them many times and communicated on many Q&As and different discussions along the way. And I've said many times, do not overprint to oblivion. Do not do it. Do not wreck it, because I know everybody was excited a year ago, and that was in the boom of things in 2021, and everybody wanted to print hundreds of thousands of boxes. I'm not saying to short print it, but it needs to be at a calm amount. It needs to be properly done. It needs to be available to the LGSs. You can't have any favorites. You can't say, Rudy, you get all the boxes and nobody else gets sorcery. But no. It needs to be correctly distributed or direct to market on Sorcery's private website. It needs to be properly done. As we learned from some other YouTuber groups and some large snowballs and different things, they held back supply on a very substantial scale. They didn't run their sale, they cut it off, or they skipped it, or they said it didn't exist. Okay? Sure, you can make fun of me because, yes, I did sell Monarch and the whole kit and everything, and that is the #1 item I've ever sold. That dropped the most in value in 7 years. But at the same time, I ran the sale. I let it run until the order stopped coming in. Until it lasted a while. It didn't sell out immediately. I ran the sale. And then, of course, I thought it would be smart to go back and buy Monarch boxes from you all in the public for $200 a box. And I lost most of the money I made. You live and learn, folks. And that shows how much I believed in it. And that didn't work out, because later I found out how much supply of Sealed Monarch First Edition was out there that people lied. So moving on, very excited about everything. Thank you. I know it's a long video. I don't expect many people to watch all the way through, but there's a lot to discuss between the new Gem Keeper stuff, the Flesh and Blood set, the MetaZoo native thing, the upticks in Magic, the reserve list, the dual lands, Pokemon. There's a lot going on, and I wanted people to be fully informed. That's all I have today. Hope you all learned something. It is a beautiful world out there. Stay positive. Do not fill yourself with negative drama and everything. And again, unfortunately, you will continue to see over the coming months, the views and attention on this YouTube channel will erode and decline as the market improves, because, well, simply put, that doesn't fit the narrative. And, the narrative means drama and anger and who gets hosed and who Rudy do something wrong to. And as we progress to a better market and everybody does better and stable, things are going to get more quiet and calm. So it's going to feel a little different, everything, especially after 20 months of drama. And thanks for the views. Thanks for the support, everybody. And as always, don't let the negativity get around. Bring you down. A lot of good out there. Don't get sucked into the bad stuff.